Good morning, guys. Today is day 3, and we are talking about fasting. And I got lots of questions about fasting. I actually had lots of conversations about fasting. I happen to be in hour 46 of a 72-hour fast. We just passed the 2-day, no, we're almost at the 2-day mark. Actually, I think 11:30 this morning is at 48 hours. And then I'll have 24 hours left. So people ask, why do I fast? Why do I long-term fast? Why do I short-term fast? What benefit does that have? So first of all, there's lots of benefits, right? And I have an entire video just on why we fast, how to fast, what are the different types of fasts that is contained in the classes. So if you've never taken the Paleo 101, the Nutrition 101 Paleo Total Transformation class or the Keto Master class, Nutrition 201, enroll in one of those classes. Enroll in all of the classes. The classes are designed to go 101, 201, 301 and take you from novice to being smarter than anyone you've ever known in regards to nutrition. We cover everything. The how, the why, the what, why does your biology act the way that it does? How do you understand how to customize that to yourself and have a unique approach to your nutrition for you? Every single person should take all 3 of those classes in succession. They're designed to be 12 weeks, so it would take you from now until the beginning of October if you did them 1 week at a time. But you do them at your own pace. So you get a playlist, you get the documents, you have a support group online on Facebook that you can ask your questions in. The more questions you ask, the better. The more you understand and the more we're able to help you. But I think that the information in there is necessary for everyone because sometimes we forget to talk about things. I've been doing this for 12 years. Most of my team has been with me for many years. And so sometimes we don't realize that when you're new, you don't already have that foundation that we've built, which is why the Facebook groups and the Telegram groups are so important because there's archived information there that you need to have. You need to go back and look through the last 6 or 7 years of posts about why grains are not food, why legumes are high in phytic acid and cause inflammation and lead to disease, why gut health is so important and how we fix that, why the standard American diet is designed to kill you. And if you continue to eat a low-fat, heart-healthy whole grain, avoid red meat, eat lean meats type diet full of processed foods, you will be on 10, 12, 15 medications, living a very miserable life instead of the optimal, perfect life that your biology has in store for you. And no matter what problems you have, the answer is always nutrition. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if it's a chronic disease, doesn't matter if it's an acute disease, doesn't matter if it's caused by trauma. No matter what's bothering you or what your symptoms are, the solution is always nutrition first. Always. 100% of the time, there is not one thing that cannot be made better, cannot be improved, cannot be prevented or treated by nutrition. Nothing. I don't care what anybody else tells you. Because everything else is about making money. Our goal is to teach you to heal your body, to listen to your body, and to give your body everything it needs because it is perfect and it will always fix itself if you are not the thing in the way. And when we have these convoluted ideas of what healthy is based on 100 years of lies in nutrition, in medicine, in agriculture, then we create every disease. We are the root cause of every problem we have, and therefore we are the only solution to every problem we have. Don't ever forget that. So, why do we fast? Because I got totally off topic. So, what are the benefits of fasting? Like I said, enroll in the classes. There's a long video on fasting. I'm going to give you really highbrow information on why we're going to incorporate fasting in this next 30 days. And if you've never done any fasting, don't freak out because it will be the easiest thing you've ever done. And you will be like, why did I not do that before? Because it's so easy and so awesome. And I feel so great and I have so much more energy. So intermittent fasting is where you fast for part of the day and you eat for part of the day. That's something that you would do on a daily basis, right? Every day you would intermittent fast for part of the day, meaning you eat all your meals in a particular window. Typically that window is 6 to 8 hours. So you either do an 18-hour fast with a 6-hour window of eating, or a 16-hour fast with an 8-hour window of eating. A lot of that depends on whether or not you're eating 2 meals a day or 3 meals a day. And again, that's highly personalized. Most men will adapt to 2 meals a day very easily. Women, on the other hand, may prefer 3 meals a day. So if you're a man and you're doing this with us, I want you to start doing an 18-6, meaning that you fast for 18 hours every day and you eat your 2 meals in that 6-hour window. So that could mean that you eat at noon and 6, or anytime within there. You could eat at noon and 5, whatever. Or if you want to eat earlier, it could be 10 to 4, or it could be even earlier than that. It could be 8 to 2, whatever. Studies have shown that the earlier in the day you eat and the later in the day that you fast, the more fat you lose. However, that's not always conducive to everybody's lifestyle. So lots of people will intermittent fast by skipping breakfast, starting with lunch, then eating dinner, and then fasting through the night. As long as your fast starts 3 hours prior to bed, so if your last meal is at 6 and bedtime is at 9, right, it's considered intermittent fasting. It's just a matter of what works for you. I have found, because I used to start end my fast at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and then eat until about 7 o'clock at night, because that was what was conducive to our lifestyle, because we're on the road a lot, kids have activities, I don't get home until late, sometimes we're eating after practice. And I found that when I moved that up to eating my first meal at 9 a.m. and then eating again around 2 or 3, no later than 4, and then fasting, I had better results and I felt better. So again, it's entirely up to you, but that's the template that I want you to follow. If you're a woman and you're already eating 2 meals a day, do the 18-6. If you are eating 3 meals a day or you're used to snacking, then do the 16-8. So that would look like you could break your fast at 8 a.m. and then you would eat all your meals between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Or if you broke your fast at 10, you would eat all your meals between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. would be your last meal, 10 a.m. would be your first meal. Again, same situation. If you want it earlier in the day versus later in the day, play around with that and what's going to work for your life. But just know that after that 6 p.m., no more food. Clear liquids, herbal teas, water, hydrate, post, all fine. But not, no cream in your coffee, no, nothing that is caloric. Okay. So fasting means 0 calorie. Okay. And the only caveat to that 0 calorie is the hydrate in the post. Then there's 24-hour fasting, or what we call 1 meal a day. Some people are very adapted to that, and the more fat adapted you become, meaning the less you rely on carbohydrate, the more your body is turning its own fat stores into fuel for you, the more people shift to OMAD, or 24-hour fasting, 1 meal a day. So you would break your fast at the same time every day, eat that meal, and then fast again until that meal. Lots of times it's dinner for people. Sometimes it's lunch. When I do it, I like it for it to be lunch. I like to eat in the middle of the day and then fast the rest of the day. But again, highly personalized. Who is that good for? This is going to not be good for people who are just getting started. This is going to be ideal for people who've been doing this for a while and really have figured out how much protein their body needs and what feels good for them, and they're able to get adequate protein. That really means that those are people who are eating a large meal in the middle of the day, probably 1 pound to 1.5 pounds of meat, which is not something that most people can sit down and do at one time. So don't worry about that per se, but I want you to understand what it is. And then there's long-term fasting, which is anything over 24 hours. You lose the benefit of a fast after 72 hours. 72 hours is your magic number. So anything under 72 doesn't repopulate the microbiome of the gut, which is what we're trying to do. Anything over 72, it starts to wane, right? So optimally, if I'm going to do a long-term fast like I'm doing now, it's 72 to 84 hours. And that 84 hours is just to give me the opportunity that if my fast ends at night, I'll go to the next morning and then start with breakfast because I prefer to eat early versus having dinner that night. I just keep going through the night, sleep on it, and then start the next morning fresh. This time I did my fast, I started at 11:30 in the morning. So I had a late breakfast and then I started my fast, which is unusual. Normally I started after dinner. And, but it worked out well. So we had a late breakfast, and this is now day 2 without food, since then. So that was, what is today? Today's Friday, right? Today's Friday. Yeah. So Wednesday I had brunch, and then Thursday I had nothing. Friday I had nothing. Tomorrow I will break my fast around lunchtime. Okay. Why do that? One, you're maximizing the benefits of autophagy, which is your body breaking down dead and damaged cells and building new cells. Number 2, you do repopulate the gut microbiome. So anytime you've done anything that damages the gut, this is a great way to reset the gut. Right? If you've taken antibiotics, if you've been on medications, if you had a sugar binge over the holidays, this is the perfect way to reset the damage that you've done. Number 3, human growth hormone peaks, which means you are building lean muscle. We need lean muscle. Don't be afraid of muscle. You need lean muscle in order to burn fat because that's what causes the metabolic rate to go up. So I use an app called Life. It's called Life Fasting. I don't think I can pull it up on here because I don't think my iPad is connected to my phone on the same account. Let me see. Let's see if it's on here. And I like this app because I think it's different. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put a fake fast in here because I can put, so I started Wednesday at 11:30. Okay. Update. Okay. And then I want to do a 72-hour fast. I'm going to show you what it tells you and why I like this app so much. So this is what it looks like when you have a fast going. And I edited my start time to be Wednesday at 11:30, and I edited my total time to be my goal of 72 hours. So you can do this. You can set this up for 18-hour fast and start one every day and monitor it. But each time you hit a pinnacle of what your benefit in fasting is, it gives you this visual cue, and then it tells you more about it. So right here, you start ketosis, right? So ketosis is your body's way of using fat stores and causing them to become glucose and use as fuel. It's gluconeogenesis. So this is when you start burning fat, right? So if you click on the Tell Me More button, it's going to take you to a page where it's going to explain what ketosis is, what's happening in your body. Why is that important? These are the 5 stages of intermittent fasting, and it goes through and it tells you a little bit more about all of them. Okay. The next stage after you get to fat burning, Rocky, is then heavy ketosis. And heavy ketosis kicks in at about the 24-hour mark. So about 18 hours, you start ketosis. About 24 hours, you start heavy ketosis. And this is going to be, again, now you are a fat burner, right? Then you get to this next one, which has a little recycling sign, and this is autophagy, because your body's recycling. So it's breaking down cells, building new cells. You have organ cells being rebuilt. You have muscle cells being rebuilt. You have tissue all over your body being rebuilt. This is where your body fixes itself, right? Your body does this every day, but you do it in a greater amount during a fast. Your body is like superhuman at it to some extent. Okay, your cells break down, you recycle old components, misfolded proteins linked to diseases are destroyed and then recreated the correct way. So if you go to tell me more, it'll give you a little bit on autophagy. Let me get to it. But the information here is really great. So you get to intermittent fasting. At 12 hours, you start, most people will start ketosis. That really depends on how much carbohydrate you've been eating prior. 18 to 24 hours, you switch into significant fat burning. Within 24 hours, you begin breaking down an autophagy. Then the next stage is about 48 hours in. So this is almost the point I'm at. If you look at mine, I'm like right there. At 48 hours without calories or with very few calories, your human growth hormone level is 5 times higher than it is on a normal day. This is part of the reason, this is partly because of the ketone bodies, because you're in ketosis, and it creates faster hormone production, faster hormone secretion. Ghrelin, your hunger hormone, can also promote hormone secretion, but the growth hormone preserves lean muscle mass, reduces fat tissue accumulation, and especially as we get older, it becomes more important to incorporate fasting. So we have an upcoming video series on longevity, on aging, and fasting and protein are two of the things that we talk about significantly. As we get older, we need to fast more and eat more protein. Those are the two things that keep us young and healthy and virile and disease-free. So anyway, and then the last stage at 54 hours is really, really important. So this is where your insulin level drops to its absolute lowest, right? Here, we're building insulin sensitivity and decreasing insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is the cause of all metabolic diseases. The way your body responds to the trigger of insulin when you eat determines whether or not you will have diabetes, high blood pressure, high triglyceride levels, and so many other things, obesity. Your sensitivity to carbohydrates and your inability to regulate your insulin levels is one of the biggest markers for all disease. And so by fasting, you are really preventing disease. You're healing it, you're restoring it, you're reversing it, and you're preventing it. Again, great information in here. Then at 72 hours, which is why I said 72 hours is that magic number, right? At 72 hours, your body takes immune cells, breaks them down, and creates new ones. This includes IGF-1, PKA, it includes mast cells, it includes your gut microbiome, like everything about your immune system is being restored and repaired at 72 hours. So anytime you take antibiotics, you have to do a 72-hour fast. Otherwise, it takes you 2 to 3 years to recover from the damage that few days of an antibiotic caused. Fasting is one of the best tools. It is free, it is easy, it is fun, believe it or not. It's not the scary thing that people make it out to be. Now, you can do a 72-hour fast really as frequently as you want to, but you do have to eat because you have to get adequate protein. So if you want to do back-to-back fast, you can do a 72-hour fast, eat a heavy protein-dense meal, an OMAD of sorts, and then go back into a fast. What I normally recommend for people is that you do a 72-hour fast no less than once every 90 days. I like to do a 72-hour fast every 30 days. To keep my body in good shape. I would love to do it weekly. I just don't think that that's possible. It's not feasible with the kind of schedule that I keep that I would do that. But once a month, I can easily do a 72-hour fast start on a Monday, end on a Wednesday. And like I start on a Sunday night, usually is what I do. So I fast Monday, Tuesday, and then I break my fast Wednesday afternoon. And so that has become a very easy way to schedule that into my life. So why am I talking about fasting, though, specific to this 30-day challenge, and how do I want you to use fasting? So like I said, I want you to do the intermittent fasting. 16-8 for women, 18-6 for men. If you are at a plateau point, if you've been working with us for a while and you're at a plateau point and you want to push past that plateau and you've not been using intermittent fasting, first incorporate intermittent fasting, the 18-6, 16-8. If you've been intermittent fasting, I want to change things up a bit. One of the things that I've recommended, particularly to people struggling with obesity, where you have a lot of weight to lose, one of the things that I have been really intrigued with in terms of the way that it works is alternating an 18-6 with a 24. So on Monday, you would eat in a 6-hour window. Then whenever your last meal was, you would eat the next day on Tuesday. So let's say you ate at 8 and at 4 on Monday. On Tuesday, you would only eat at 4 p.m. On Wednesday, you would go back to 8 and 4. On Thursday, you would eat at 4. On Friday, you would eat at 8 at 4. And Saturday, you would eat at 4. Sunday, you could not eat at all if you wanted to, and do a whole 48-hour fast before you break into, it would be 36-ish, before you break into your Monday at 8, right? So you can alternate how you fast in order to achieve more autophagy, more ketosis, more fat loss, more human growth hormone, more gut fixing, and optimize how you do that. What I find really interesting about this is that when you do that and you lose weight, you will lose weight more quickly, but you will also break down unused proteins in your body. So as you lose weight, right, as you lose size, mass, I hate to use weight because we're not measuring weight. We're measuring your body composition. So your weight will go up as you gain more lean muscle, because lean muscle does not weigh more than fat. That's a lie. Weight is the same. A pound is a pound, fat, muscle. But a pound of muscle is significantly smaller than a pound of fat. So as you gain muscle and lose fat, your weight may stay the same or even increase, but your body will shrink. That's what we want. We do not want you to lose weight where you lose muscle, which is what happens when you diet. Dieting, calorie restriction, things like Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, that stupid metafasting that now is called Optiva. Those are dangerous because you're just reducing calories, so your body's eating itself alive and it's eating away that lean muscle mass that you need. You're losing water and muscle before you lose fat. So now when you stop doing that, you are a ball of fat in a smaller size because you lost what you needed, not what you wanted to lose. You'll lose some fat, but you've also caused hormone damage. You've lowered your metabolic rate because you lost muscle, and now you're going to gain weight even faster. That's why yo-yo dieting doesn't work, and it is a yo-yo, right? So this is very different. We're talking about permanent lifestyle changes for the optimization of your health, your body, your biology in a way that works with how your body was designed, okay? So anyway, when you do that, what's cool is that as your body shrinks, the cells that are being broken down in autophagy are going to also include excess skin cells. So let's say that you have a lot of weight to lose. One of the big fears people have when they lose a lot of weight is flabby skin, right? We're needing skin removal surgery if you're losing more than 100 pounds. And Jason Fung has done decades worth of research on this in terms of his private practice. And he has found that when people include short and long-term fasting, they have no excess skin. They never need skin removal, even if they lose upwards of 300 pounds. So the point is to let your body work for you, because right now you're working against it. And your body's way smarter than you are. Let me tell you that. So we're going to use what your body already knows to your advantage. Now, in Jason's book, he talks about doing intermittent fasting with a 72-hour fast at the end of every week. I think that's asking a lot for people. But if you can get to that point and you feel comfortable with it, then that's great. I like the idea of starting with an intermittent fast and doing one 24-hour fast a week if you're brand new. And then if you have been with us a while, doing intermittent, or the 16-8 to 24 to 16-8 to 24 to 16-8, and just rotate that way. I think every person in the world should be doing a 72-hour fast at least once a month. And if possible, start this process with a 72-hour fast, which is what we're doing here in the house. Every time I kick off something new, I start with a 72-hour fast. It's my body's natural way of resetting itself. We are designed biologically to fast. We are designed to go through periods where we don't eat intentionally, and then we do eat. Think about it. When we were hunter-gatherers, there were times where there was no food until the next kill. And so they would walk and walk and walk and walk until they found something, and then they would settle down and eat what there was, and then they would do it again, walk and walk, walk. So, and we'll talk about movement in the next video. But I wanted to really spend a little bit of time on this in terms of how you can use this to your benefit, especially if you've never fasted before. Now, if you're going to undertake a 72-hour fast, I do recommend that you watch the fasting video in the classes and that you understand that you have to have electrolytes. So you have to have hydrate in your hot little hands before you start anything longer than 24 hours. If you're just doing the intermittent fasting, I'm not worried about that so much. But if you're going to do more than 24 hours, you're going to attempt this 72-hour fast, you have to have either Ketosis, which is our do-it-yourself electrolytes found in the classes, or your hydrate on hand and have at least 3 of them a day. This is going to stabilize your blood sugar. It's going to make sure that you don't suffer from dehydration. And then during that 72-hour window, you can have tea, black coffee, carbonated water, regular water. You can put essential oils in your water. Just no cream, no honey, no, none of that stuff. Plain herbal teas, essential oils, plain water, carbonated water, coffee, all that, and then the hydrate and the post are okay. You can also use the Slim Plus during your fast, which is going to help you feel less hungry. So if you have the Slim Plus on hand because it was in your burn box and that was your choice, then by all means you can use the Slim Plus in the mornings on your fast days, and that's going to help you feel less hungry. Okay, especially if you're doing the alternating between the 18 and the 24. Okay. If you have additional questions about fasting, please ask them, and we'll help you out with that, because I do think you have to set yourself up for success. And coming out of a 72-hour fast, you don't just dive right into eating. That's why we have a prescribed protocol for a 72-hour fast, and we walk you through it, and we make sure you know what you're doing first. So you're going to break that fast with bone broth. You're going to transition into lean proteins. Then you're going to transition into vegetables. And then lastly, you're going to transition into fats. And so by increasing the amount of things you eat, you're going to start with small meals. And each meal you'll add another element over the course of the next day or so. So you don't just dive right in and make yourself sick. Because I've done that before. Okay, so this was a much longer video than I intended for it to be. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. I hope that helps. And if you have questions, ask them in the comment section. We'll talk to you soon. Welcome to the Race to Results.